Today I'll be speaking to you about how to manage your money and understand it to become rich. The book revolving around this video is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. In Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money, there is a great, premise that can be translated into 13 principles, which I will share with you today. The premise is, good money management has little to do with the correct use of formulas or complex investments, and rather depends on how people relate to it and how they manage emotions when making a decision with their money. So with that being said, let's just start off with number 1, which is the first principle in the book, which is find humility in success and compassion in your mistakes. So basically, humility in your success and compassion in your mistakes. Morgan Housel raises in his book the question that things are never as good or as bad as they seem. The world is big and complex, and business people need to be humble when they succeed and compassionate when they, make poor decisions. This is more so when luck and risk are variables that are difficult to identify. So anyone in the world of business and investment must acknowledge the power that both have. To be able to focus on those things that can be controlled, you got to understand that there is luck and there is risk and all sorts of things like that. Moving on to number 2, less ego, more wealth. The way you close the gap between your income and your ego is to save money. And in this book, Housel explains that wealth is the unseen difference between the two. And to build wealth, you must cross out all the things that you could buy today. So just keep that in mind, that no matter how much you earn or becoming a just how much you earn, how much you spend, blah blah blah, becoming a millionaire and accumulating wealth in the future will not happen unless you control your impulses today. So even if you have a big wad of cash, you don't want to go spending it on some random crap. Number 3, manage your money in such a way that you sleep peacefully at night. This principle in this book is one of the most important on a personal level, as it allows business people to understand that although an investment can be very profitable on paper, it may not fit their life goals. This means that your peace of mind should prevail over their aspiration to achieve returns on your money or the obligation to save a specific percentage. Mainly, finances are personal, so investing in a risky way will allow some people to sleep well at night, while some other people will prefer to save 40% of their income. Both cases are, perfectly fine. You just want to do it for what's right with you. And now, number 4. To be a better investor, you want to increase your time horizon. Now, a bloke named Warren Buffett says that time is the most powerful force when it comes to investing your money. Although you cannot control luck or risk, when time comes into the equation, it makes mistakes fade and small things grow. So what I'm saying is, in the long term, your investments will grow incredibly thanks to compound interest. And in the long term, specific errors are offset by the natural power of the market. The less you interrupt your investments, the more chances you have to accumulate incredible figures and to watch it grow. That brings us to number 5. You can be wrong half the time and you can still build a fortune. It's not always about being right. Investors must accept that many things will not turn out the way they expect. There will be many mistakes along the way. So how is it possible to build a future when you're wrong half the time? This is because a small percentage of things explain the vast majority of results. This is known as like the Pareto principle in money management. It is applied so that 20% of the investment decisions you make will produce 80% of your results. So when you see things from this perspective, you will stop looking at your like individual investments and start looking at their like performance based on your entire portfolio. Let's say, for example, you will be able to understand that it is okay to have a lot of bad investments and a few good that like drive most of your results. But on the contrary, if you analyze each decision individually and you really focus on them all one by one, you will fall into like the trap of thinking that those who make good decisions are more brilliant and those who make bad decisions and mistakes lose the most. So you just want to focus it all together like a big group. Number 6, use your money to control your time. Without a doubt, one of the like keys to being happy is having more control over your time. Basically, this is the ability to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, and for as long as you want. This is like the best return investors can get from their money. In summary, the trick is to apply this principle to increase the wealth or income-ego gap and to build invisible wealth whose performance allows you to control time. Number 7, be more like frugal and less flashy. What do business people want when they like fancy a car or a sizable house or an expensive watch? What they truly seek is respect and admiration from others, and the most efficient way to achieve this is through kindness and humility. No one is as impressed with their professions as they are, so when you're looking for respect and recognition, successful people develop frugality and focus on their human side to help others, instead of buying Gucci and all sorts of like flashy products like Supreme, the B logos and stuff. They like to dress clean and fancy and really present themselves. Number 8, no need to have a specific reason to save money. You can just, this is like one of the most important principles of the book when it comes to achieving financial growth and independence. While people save for a car, a down payment on a house, or a medical emergency, then they must also learn to save for things that are like impossible to predict. So if you just have some spare money over, just chuck it in a savings account. It doesn't have to be for anything in particular. Number 9, define the cost of success and be willing to pay for it. In business and life in general, nothing worthwhile is fast, fair, or easy, and in many cases, the associated cost is very high. So, this is the case with like uncertainty and doubt and regret, which are very common in the financial world. They are often part of the story of a successful business, and people must see them as fees to achieve a dream lifestyle. Pardon me. So you are going to have to make some sacrifices. Number 10, the importance of the margin of error. The wider the gap between what could happen in the future and what you need to happen, the better. This is known as the margin of error, and it is a fundamental principle for staying in the money game and allowing time to work. It's quite literally magic. If, let's say, a financial future has a very small margin of error, any setback or unexpected event could take people out of the game and lead them into like hasty decisions and divert them from their goals. So as a rule of thumb, it is best to look for ways to widen this gap to need less from the future. So basically rely on your present self and achieve what you can today. Number 11, avoid the extremes in financial decisions. So this role is about having a financial balance and avoiding extremes that lead to high levels of commitment to projects or goals. So, how do I say this? No matter what goals and desires, it is essential to remember that they will change over time. Housel advises to keep this in your mind when deciding something in the present, and to have space, time, and resources for other things if that project or goal doesn't go right. Number 12, we've been talking about a lot of risk and luck. And number 12, risk pays off over time. A hasty decision that does not contemplate the possible scenarios will take investors out of the game. So the key is to make decisions and have a mindset that will guarantee the longest stint. The longest investors are in the money game, investing, growing, and learning. The better their results will be. So you just want to stick in longer. In this context, calculated risks will give a good profit margin in the long term, while calculated risks that do not imply such a high cost will keep investors in the market in the short term. So it just more depends on what you want. And number 13, define the money game you are playing. You're probably thinking, what the hell do you mean? Finances are a personal matter. Housel invites investors to make sure their actions are not influenced by people who are in a different game. So this is why the vast majority of people who are intelligent and informed and study the world of finance rarely agree on anything. Why, you might ask? Because each person has their own goals, desires, and investment horizons. So it's just more about what you believe in, what your goals are, and what you desire. So that's what I've got for you today. Just keep in mind that was a brief explanation of the book, and that isn't word from word of what the book claims. To get a greater effect of what I've just said, I suggest having a read for yourself, but if you're happy with what I've given you, then so be it. Make yourself 1% better every day, and I'll see you next time.